too. But no, he upheld the deal they had arranged. He concedes game 2. We are now off to game 3. These players are sideboarded for a one shot at the championship.
It would have been pretty impressive if he just said, "Nah, I renege."
Yep, thanks. Thanks for conceding, buddy.
Thanks for the concession.
That'd be a fun judge call. Judge,
So,
explain to me what's going on here.
Have they decided if they want to do sideboards, or are they just going to play straight up main deck?
I believe they are sideboarded.
Okay.
And I think that even further pushes Elliott's advantage. Probably one of the reasons why he was so willing to accept this deal. He was slightly favored, I thought, in the main deck configuration. In post sideboard, he gets to bring in even more stuff like Deathrite Shamans. So he goes into 4 Deathrite Shamans, brings in 2 Somberwald Sages, perhaps brings in some removal spells for Korey's acceleration, perhaps brings in some acidic slimes. I'm not sure how good those are in this matchup. I suspect they're not great.
They're actually, when I was talking to Josh Ravitch about this matchup, he said he actually really liked acidic slimes and Garrick because he wanted to just go after their mana. He said that was one of the best ways to sort of attack the deck. You have Deathrite Shaman to stop maybe like an early Angel Serenity, but the best way to really stop them from casting their high-end spells is just to go after their mana with cards like Acidic Slime and Garrick Relentless going after their mana guys.
Interesting. So which of the cards do you want to cut here? I mean, I assume that things like Thragtusk will not all stars in the particular matchup. The card is just so powerful that it's probably not something you want to take out. Maybe actually you're adding Creative Behemoth, probably also a good win condition you want to leave in with all these lingering souls running around. So tough to find things to cut for Elliott here.
I don't think Abrupt Decay is something that, obviously it deals with Deathrite Shaman, but beyond that, there's not really that much that it can target effectively. It can deal with some mana guys, but again, not really sure how powerful it is. When you get to the late game, you start getting these haymakers back and forth. Abrupt Decay can't really answer cards like Thragtusk, Angel Serenity, Prayer of the Behemoth, so might consider boarding that card out. But obviously, Somberwald Sage is something that can be a trump because it can allow for a turn 4 Angel, turn 3 Angel, potentially.
But given that, so in Korey's case, I mean, Korey's certainly afraid of Elliott start of turn 1, Avacyn Pilgrim, turn 2, Somberwald Sage, turn 3, he has 7 mana available to him. Maybe Korey wants to kind of maximize, maybe he needs Abrupt Decay to try to stop that, to kill the Somberwald Sages?
I think if I was on the play, maybe not, but on the draw, I think you're right. You just need to stop that nut draw from Elliott. Even just a turn 3 Somberwald Sage could be really bad for Korey. So I could definitely see Korey bringing in Abrupt Decay, just because he knows he's going to be up against Somberwald Sage.
So Elliott, with that mulch, hitting the goods into the graveyard, now has both the Behemoth and a Thragtusk there. So his Umbrella Rights are going to be excellent in this spot.
And it doesn't look like Korey has much in the way of dealing with the graveyard beyond that Deathrite Shaman. So no Purify the Graves, and no Cremates or anything tricky like that. So Elliott's going to be pretty comfortable in casting an Umbrella Rights as long as there's no Deathrite Shaman in play. And there is that Somberwald Sage that we were talking about.
And you can see in Elliott's hand, he has both a Thragtusk being turned on by the Sage, as well as an Umbrella Rights that got turned on by that mulch. Elliott looking like he's in great shape here so far.
Korey does not have a Garrick Relentless to deal with the Somberwald Sage. It doesn't look like. We might just be getting a Grizzly Savage here. Okay. Hoping to get possibly a Deathrite Shaman. Not a bad Grizzly Savage. Gets a mana guy and reveals a Creator of Behemoth as well as an Umbrella Rights. And it looks like he did bring in the Abrupt Decay, like we mentioned.
Now I expect to see him just play Sun Petal Grove and then just cast that Avacyn Pilgrim.
Yeah, attacks for 1, Avacyn Pilgrim come into play. If you can generate enough creatures into play, the Creator of Behemoth will be threatening lethal pretty soon. But again, we know Elliott has a Thragtusk in play as well as a Behemoth of his own. So interesting to see how this plays out.
Drew is available then, but Korey does have 2 different mana accelerators in play. So that's not as scary.
Yeah, I think we kind of want Thragtusk to come into play now, although maybe Elliott might want to be trying to dig for Lingering Souls to help make his Behemoth lethal next turn. So he might cast a Mulch, but I think you want to maximize your mana here and just get a Thragtusk in play.
But you can do both. Right, Sage taps for 3, so he actually has both those. He can do one then the other, depending on what this Mulch turns out.
But even if he hits the Lingering Souls, I think you still want to.
So he doesn't, making it easy.
So he hits a land. Reveals an Umbrella Rights into his graveyard now, so Korey knows it's coming. Does he have another land that he can play? I know he revealed one off the mulch, but
he has the second one. Yeah, he already had one. This could be a very brutally short game. Sunbelt Sage really punishes the other player when it doesn't get killed.
One of those cards that can really trump this matchup, because again, you have so many high-end spells to just be able, and there's not a lot of removal going back and forth.
Here we see an acidic slime trying to slow down Korey.
Yep, and there again, mana denial can be very important in this matchup.
And when you're casting Creative Behemoth, you don't really care which creatures you have in play, you just care about the number of them.
Yeah.
So the fact that the acidic slime is a little bit smaller than Thragtusk is not really a big deal there.
Looks like Korey does have Angel Serenity and a Thragtusk. Unfortunately, he's a little too far away from casting that Angel Serenity. He does have an Unburied Rites in his graveyard, but currently he can only target a Crater of Behemoth, and that's just not enough damage right now. Looks like we might be seeing a Thragtusk here. Yep.
We do. So Korey going up to 24, trying to hold on so he can survive that Behemoth that's in Elliott's graveyard.
Another Grizzly Savage here, drawn by Elliott.
He'll certainly lead off with that and see what he can turn up.
Doesn't seem like he wants to be casting Sever the Bloodline just yet. No great targets for it. I think he wants to try to maybe Grizzly Savage again here. Try to dig for another Thragtusk or maybe another Acidic Slime.
No, I agree with you.
And he will be able to cast it, like you said, with Soundworld Sage. So casting an Unburied Rites on your Crater of Behemoth, it's fine, but not really going to be doing much. And then you do expose yourself to a card like Sever the Bloodline, removing the Crater of Behemoth. So I think maybe you just want to dig here.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to lead with the salvage and see what you can turn up. Again, if you find a Lingering Souls, you can dump enough creatures into play that you might be able to represent lethal quickly with the Behemoth before Korey gets that Angel online. And that's the real thing he's afraid of, is Korey sticking an Angel and undoing all of his work on developing his board.
Even being able to dig for a Deathrite Shaman wouldn't be the worst thing right here. Although Korey is threatening to bring back a Crater of Behemoth of his own, which will give everything +4/+4. So
he may take it for 28 if he does that.
Looks like Thragtusk might just be coming into play here.
Is that enough? He only has 27 right now. He needs to have another point of toughness in play.
So Sever, yeah, because Elliott knows that there's a Crater of Behemoth and an Unburied Rites in Korey's graveyard, so I'm not sure what his thought process there was. Because Korey does have the 4th land, so he can cast Flashback the Unburied Rites without tapping his mana creatures, so they will be able to attack.
And that'll force Elliott to have a removal spell, instant speed removal spell that can kill something in play. Otherwise, he'll just be dead.
Yeah, that is 28 points of damage. With Elliott at 22.
And only 5 toughness, he's
only has 5 toughness.
27.
Yeah, so if Korey
he dies.
If Korey does go for it, he will end up dying. Maybe Korey might be afraid of a...
Drawing that Garrett Relentless, actually, I think, is what stopped him from doing that.
Wow.
That...
Korey might, playing a little conservative, maybe afraid of an Abrupt Decay or Tragic Slip here, which would be just enough to prevent Korey from killing Elliott this turn. But again, he would have put Elliott on a lot of pressure, and might have been worth it just to go for it there.
Certainly it seems reasonable. I mean, he knows that Elliott doesn't have a lot of instant removal.
And you have to imagine that after board in particular, maybe you really just don't even want those cards in your main deck anymore. Especially if you're on the play. So Elliott survives that turn, casts Grizzly Savage, reveals, I believe, another Thragtusk, Sombral Sage, and an Avacyn Pilgrim.
So the Thragtusk is going to put him well out of range of the Behemoth now. He's going to get to go up to 27. He'll have 8 toughness in play. I wonder if that was a misstep by Korey. I'm not sure if he's supposed to go for it there or not. We know it would have worked. But maybe he feels like he's far enough ahead that he doesn't need to do it.
Well, the only risky thing there is if Elliott does have another Grizzly Savage and reveals a Angel Serenity, then suddenly he can get it back with the Unburied Rites.
Sure. I mean, by not going for it, you mean?
Yeah, by not going for it, he really exposed himself to Angel Serenity.
Yeah.
Obviously, Elliott only has 5 mana, but you know there's cards like Grizzly Savage's deck. You know he has a card like Maybe he's slow rolling a Lotless Troll, which he does have in his deck, and he'll discard an Angel and flashback. You're exposing yourself to a lot of cards here, and you're really even if you flashback and Burial Rites, go for Creative Behemoth and go for the kill. Even if he does have a removal spell there, he still has to lose both his creatures.
Right.
He'll get a beast token, but he's taking a lot of damage, and then you still have a Garruk as a follow-up. So I think if I was Korey, I'd probably go for it there because there's very little downside.
I agree with you there completely.
And you could potentially just win the game outright.
And you know, make your mono PDQ.
Exactly. Time's running out here, buddy.
Priorities, Korey. Maybe that's what Elliott's plan. Elliott's plan is to stall him into having to concede to run out the door.
Got to play a little slower here. But
Elliott digging more for this Angel Serenity. Really wants to find an Angel.
yeah, because if he hits a land Angel in these top 5 cards, and there it is. The first 2 cards he hits is land Angel. So exactly what we were talking about here. He didn't do it with the last Grizzly Savage, but he drew another one and managed to do it this time. So he will be able to play a land and flashback and Burial Rites, targeting Angel Serenity, dealing with all 3 of Korey's creatures if he chooses to do so.
Yep.
He then will be able to attack with both his creatures, trying to go after the Garruk possibly, or just going after Korey to put him in Crater Behemoth range.
No, next turn he's just going to kill him.
Yep.
Right, because next turn he's going to be able to flashback Lingering Souls and then flashback and then cast the Unburial Rites from his hand, doing both of those on the Behemoth, you know, hitting for 6 times 24, 40 some odd damage.
Yeah.
So I think Elliott now is a huge favorite to win this game.
First off,
Pretty big favorite here.
have everybody look at the back of your registration sheet, and if you have not yet
So
signed
Angel
it,
Serenity targets, looks like a land gets untapped for
So
value.
now Korey needs to hit his own Angel here now off of his Grizzly Salvage, or else he will be in a world of hurt.
Elliott decides to go after one of his Thragtusk instead. I guess that's fine. I
fine.
prefer to just go after the Thragtusk, I guess, but either way, doesn't really matter.
He knows the only way he's losing this game at this point is to another Angel from Korey.
please go ahead and package up everything. You're sorted.
You definitely have to go after the mana guys. Whether or not you go after the Thragtusk, I guess that's debatable, but I think Elliott's out of range of dying to Behemoth now. Korey can't really realistically cast a Angel Serenity. Elliott might be afraid of the same play that happened before, which we just see Grizzly Savage. All he needs to do is hit an Angel Serenity, basically.
He does only have 2 left, I believe. Yeah, he only has 2.
Okay, so he has a 1 in the hand. Does not hit an Angel Serenity.
Probably take that land, is my guess.
Yeah, I think that's probably his best option. I don't think does he have another land in his hand? Looks like he has an Angel Serenity. Yeah, so he has a land in his hand. If he wants to go for the Thragtusk and like play the shock land and effectively gain 3 and get another blocker on the board, not an unreasonable play. He can kill the Acidic Slime on his turn with the Garruk. Might want to just go for the land, flashback Lingering Soul, so you get a couple blockers, kill the Somber
Sure.
World. So it's nice to just go for the Thragtusk here, which is a fine play. Get another blocker out there, kill the Acidic Slime on your turn.
Draws Deathrite Shaman a little bit late, unfortunately for Korey.
All right. I want everybody right now to
Now Korey doesn't know about the Burial Rites in Elliott's hand, so he's probably assuming that he's probably can have himself at least 1 more turn to try to stabilize, try to get that Angel Serenity in play. Now you'd probably expect him to lead with Deathrite Shaman and flashback Lingering Souls because of this draw.
I'm going to give you guys just a couple minutes to verify this. If there's any problems, please call a judge.
We know about the Burial Rites, obviously, but Korey doesn't, so maybe he thinks his Deathrite Shaman is still alive.
At the same time, though, we've seen Elliott flip over, 8, 16-ish, 17-ish cards, and only hit 1 on Burial Rites, and he has had spells in his hand the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, what are those spells? I mean, he had an active Sunball Sage for quite a while. It wasn't dropping, 7 and 8 drops, so he probably had spells in his hand.
Yeah, and if Korey didn't go for the kill last turn, he might still assume that there's some sort of removal spell in Elliott's
Sure.
hand. So, because that's pretty much the only reason you wouldn't go for the kill.
And now this Garruk, I assume, will kill the Acidic Slime.
Might as well. 2/2 Wolf's not really going to do much. Might as well kill a creature. He might be afraid of Burial Rites on Acidic Slime, but he would just go for Crazy anyway. So
Elliott on his turn, I believe, is going to be attacking could attack for, assuming he kills Acidic Slime, he's only able to attack for 30. And since these numbers are so large, this is such a can only attack for 30. And since Korey has that untapped Thragtusk with 3 toughness, it actually is going to be 1 point short of killing him. And the line that gets him to 30 is he flashes back Lingering Souls and then casts that reanimate on Greater Behemoth.
And he did draw a 5th land, another land, so he will be able to play that.
Does Behemoth? Let's bring Behemoth up on the screen here so we can just refresh remember what exactly it does. I know it gives all your creatures
haste, trample.
Does it give all your guys haste, or just it has haste?
No, it just has haste.
Right. So that's what I was thought. I was making sure. So the Lingering Souls tokens will not themselves gain haste.
No.
He'll only have 3 attackers. They'll all get +5/+5 for 15 damage. And then 5 from the Behemoth is 20. 5 from the Angel is 25, and 5 from the Thragtusk is 30.
Yeah, so Korey will be able to soak up 3 points, so he will effectively be at 1.
And then that'll leave Korey with 8 power in play.
Everyone else,
and the Behemoth of his own. His Behemoth then will do 3 times 3 is 9. 9, 12, 17, 22, and actually be lethal in the backswing. So Elliott cannot go for the Behemoth play here. He will actually die then to Korey's Behemoth.
Yeah.
A lot of math in these combats.
A lot of
You
math.
need to be keeping track of what these Behemoths do at all steps.
Yeah, because even the Lingering Souls tokens, they wouldn't be able to...
They'd only soak up 2.
Yeah, they only soak up 2. Well, he could flashback. He could cast the Burial Rites targeting the Cradle of Behemoth and only swing with a Thragtusk and an Angel Serenity. Or
he could, but I still feel like it's better to wait for that thing to be lethal, and now instead just let's. I mean, what other lines do we have? We can bring back this Acidic Slime. Doesn't do all that much here. We can just go ahead and just sever these Thragtusks.
Probably Sever Flashback is the right play. But even then, Sever would target all. Can we bring up Sever the Bloodline as well, just to show you what that card does? 4 mana sorcery spell, remove target creature, and I believe all creatures with the same name.
He'll get his own Thragtusk as well.
So his Thragtusk will be gone as well, but would that be enough? So you cast Sever the Bloodline, both of Korey's Thragtusk go away, along with Elliott's. He'll be left with 6 power. Thragtusk would come back if he reanimates their Behemoth. All his creatures gain +3/+3, so that's 9, 14, so that's 20 points of damage.
Just saying go here now. Elliott, once those tokens aren't summoning sick, is now representing lethal through both blockers. The big issue he was having was that those 2 Lingering Souls spirits could not attack with the benefit of the Behemoth.
Yeah, so I think I like attacking with Thragtusk here.
And then just sever the last Thragtusk?
I think you want to attack with Thragtusk, see what Korey does, and then sever.
Yeah, because you're still safe even if he Behemoths.
Even if you Behemoths, you're still safe. You have enough damage enough blockers to soak it up.
Although, keep in mind, Korey can also make a wolf with the Garrick, which adds 3 more damage to the Behemoth.
Yeah, but that'd be 12, 17, so that's still 23. So you'd still have enough damage to soak it up there.
Right, because they have 2 beast tokens, right? So it'd be... He brought back the Behemoth. Okay, so he's only attacking with a subset of his guys now.
So everything gets +5/+5. Again, like you said, he could attack for 30 if he chooses to.
But then he will die on the swing back. So assuming he can work through this math, I'm surprised. I don't like bringing back a non-lethal Behemoth. Unless he has another one hiding in his graveyard, which I don't think he does.
Doesn't look like he has.
I think it's better to just wait to make it lethal.
Restoration Angel would have been an option, but Elliott doesn't have Restoration Angel. Like if he has a Restoration Angel in a graveyard, it would effectively be like another Behemoth next turn, but he doesn't have that in his deck. Looks like Elliott's doing the math now. Probably should have done that before the flashback,
Right.
But might be realizing that he doesn't have enough to actually kill Korey.
And he just killed himself.
So he just decides to go for it.
Unless we did, and Korey's done the math. Korey knows he's going to 1, and then killing him on the backswing. So Elliott, I imagine this turn's not going to take a long time.
Make a wolf.
Korey has done the math. Korey knows. Oh, he even has a Lingering Souls to flashback for extra.
Yeah.
He's killing him by a lot.
So yeah, Elliott is definitely dead for as long as Korey targets the Cradle.
Makes the wolf 2, attacks for an actual million, and
yeah,
then Elliott
realizes
wow.
what happened.
So because Korey had that Lingering Souls, which we didn't realize, And we can see Korey in a rush now to let's make that PTQ. It's possible actually that Elliott just didn't have a play to stay alive because Korey could get 3 more creatures, and that he was dead no matter what he did. So he had to hope that Korey made a mistake and somehow didn't block. It just took lethal. Now, I had to assume with the Sever that there's some line he could take where he didn't die, but it's possible he couldn't.
Again, I think